All right, welcome everybody to the 60th installment of MVP Office Hours. My name is Jared Kingston. I'm a consultant with Aperio and help organize the office hours. If you're not familiar with the office hours, really it is Answers Live. So we really have an open forum here to ask questions, whether it's over the phone. You can post in the web chat. You can also raise your hand, and we'll call on you as soon as we're done with the current question. Because it is open, we just ask that you mute your line just in case it sounds like you're in a restaurant or you're a hard typer, whatever it may be. We just ask that you mute so that we can hear the questions and answers rather easily. So with that being said, we have some great MVPs on the phone. If I could have the MVPs that are here raise their hand.
And waving like we don't care?
Yeah, exactly. You can do that for sure. Okay. All right. So we're the three amigas today from MVP standpoint. So we'll start first with Jackie, if you just want to introduce yourself and kind of your area of expertise.
Great. Thank you, Jared. Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Jackie Trebieso. I'm located in South Carolina. I'm an independent contractor, and I mostly focus on startups and small to mid-sized businesses, focusing on leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, and then dabble in all the other areas as well. So I'm in South Carolina. If you guys are ever in the area, look me up. We'll grab something to drink.
Sweet. All right. And Steve.
Hi. My name's Steve Moelis out of Boston, and I'm pretty good with reports, analytics, and formulas in formula fields, workflow rules, or validation rules. Apex and Visualforce, not so much.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Who wants to open us up with the first questions? Nobody? Nobody wants to ask questions?
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question on reports. I'm going to try and articulate this. This is kind of hard for me. So I'm trying to look for opportunities to build a report, to look for opportunities owned by the people who roll up to me, and also if those people are on a sales team. But I don't want to pull every opportunity that they are part of a sales team. I just want to pull certain opportunities based on a filter criteria if they are on a sales team. But I want to pull everything that they own. Does that make sense?
Jackie, Steve, any thoughts there?
This is Jackie. Sorry, I was on mute there for a second. You can certainly do that. If you have the data, the information on the opportunity that you can filter, so if it's a certain region or team, you would just set those filters accordingly. There is a drop-down that allows you to sort by my teams or summarize by my team's opportunities. So if they report to you, you should be able to get to those, and then set your filter criteria to if it's a region or what is the specific criteria that you're trying to drill down into.
So the criteria would be on the sales team and not if the person owns the opportunities. I want to pull all opportunities that they own But if they are part of a sales team, then I want to be able to pull only certain opportunities. So if I put a filter criteria there, and the closest one that I can find is my team's team selling and their opportunities, but it's going to pull everything that everyone rolls up to me and if they are part of the sales team. But I don't want that filter to apply if they own the opportunity. Do you see what I'm saying?
If they own the opportunity, you don't want to see it?
I don't want the filter to apply. I want the filter to be applied only if they're part of the sales team.
This is Steve. Which edition are you on?
I'm on the unlimited.
Oh, okay. I think using an you're doing this in reports, right? Not list views.
Correct.
I think the closest you're going to be able to get is going to be a cross filter. So you'll no, actually, I don't even know if a cross filter will get you there. So you want to include an opportunity where the person is on the account, is on the opportunity team, but they don't own the opportunity.
Yes, and
Wait a minute. Yeah, I don't think you need a cross filter for that. I think you can just apply a straight opportunity filter, a field filter, where opportunity owner is not equal to so-and-so. You know, like if Jared is the owner of 5 opportunities and he's on the opportunity team of 10 opportunities, you could create an opportunity report and explicitly add a field filter that says opportunity owner is not equal to Jared. And those 5 opportunities that he owns should be excluded from that report.
So going back to your example with Jared, so I want to pull all the 5 opportunities that he owns.
Oh, you want those 5 to be in the report.
Right, but the other 5 that he owns, the other 5 that where he's part of the sales team, I want to pull, let's say, only the ones where the region is east.
Where is region determined?
That's, let's say, on the opportunity.
Okay. You might be able to do that. You're going to have to get pretty creative with your filters, but I think you could get there because it is a field that is on the opportunity record. So you could say something like, team member, team member. If the report has, let's back up the truck a bit. What report type are you using? Are you using a straight opportunity report, or are you using an opportunities with teams report?
I'm using a straight opportunity report. I could use opportunity with teams.
No. Okay, now I think we're back to cross-filter land, but I think we're back in the game. I think with a straight opportunity report, you add a cross-filter that includes Jared and the team, or you might not even need the cross-filter. I think you just got to get creative and say that the either he's the owner and you include the opportunity, or he's on the team and the region equals A, B, or C. I think you'll be able to get there using some filter logic. Let me fire up I'm on my dev board right now. Let me see if I can replicate this.
Thank you.
So my team's team selling and their opportunities. Okay, I think what we want would be something like opportunity owner equals the person's name, and maybe this would be an or. Opportunity is not equal to that person, but region equals A, B, or C.
Okay, so
I'm building this report. I'm going to try and copy and paste the filter criteria I come up with into the chat.
Okay.
I'm almost there. Okay. Let me just try and clean this up a little bit because it's got all that like edit stuff. I know this makes for like riveting television.
Well, real quick, while you're doing that, I'm gonna just go to a question in the chat here from Mark Albano on how he wants to put a report into a Visualforce page. I guess real quick, Mark, my question would be, what's kind of the use case there? Mark, are you on the line? Gotcha. So have the ability to edit certain fields to edit. So you want to maybe edit the fields. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I see. So you want to so you can edit the fields, but you want the report under it. So there is a workaround. I've not done this before, but one of the MVPs, Andy Mahood, has done something like this before. Now, he did this his post is back from 2011, so things may have changed, and I'd probably recommend posting something to like the developer forums or StackForce or even the community. But I'll post this link into the chat for everyone to see here. So that may be something to look at. Looks like there's a page workaround that you can do there. All right, sorry, Steve. It looks like you post something in the chat. What do you got there?
That's my report filter criteria that I used, and I think it pulled in what an approximation of what she's looking for. So I'm basically saying display the opportunity if my user is the owner of the opportunity, or if they're not the owner and the region is this. And by virtue of that, my team's opportunities and team selling opportunities selection, I think that will get you what you're looking for.
So if I have many people rolling up to me, that second filter is going to pull up more than Jared, right?
Well, for that second level of opportunity, the ones that they don't own, are you looking for like just the opportunities owned by a specific, like that a specific person is on the opportunity team?
No, more than that. So if, let's say I'm a manager and I have 5 people reporting to me, I want to see all the opportunities that they own, and then if the account region equals A, if they're on the sales team.
And for the ones that they own, you don't care what region it is, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I think that will get you there. I think it will. Because you're saying, give me everything they own, regardless of where it's from, or give me the ones they don't own that are from this region.
And put more than one user in the second.
You can append as many names into that as you want. I mean, you'll hit the limit of, I think, 10 values per filter.
Okay.
So you got 5 people, you're well within there, and you can always use alias to make it a little bit cleaner.
What's alias?
It's like essentially it's a person's Salesforce nickname. It's
It's
usually the first initial and the first 7 characters of their last name.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much.
It's kind of like a quick and dirty way in a small org to select records that are owned by a person or created by a person. So if somebody has a long, hard to pronounce or hard to spell name, their alias, mine would be S. Molis.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
it's an old field that is on the user object. It's still used in almost every report or is available in every report. It predates things like chatter and communities, and now they've got another field called nickname. But alias is kind of like an old school Salesforce nickname field.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think this will get me going. I think I can expand on
I'll
this.
post a screenshot of what I get.
Okay, thanks.
All right. All right, here. And we have another question in the chat from Matthew, looking for thoughts and opinions on person accounts. Anything in particular there? And Steve laughs, so.
Thoughts or opinions on person accounts, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, you do realize that Steve Mo's on the phone, right?
Yeah, no, I do know Steve.
So what are you looking to person accounts for?
So this is the first time I've worked for a B2C company. Last 10 years I've worked for B2Bs implementing Salesforce, so I've kind of ignored this topic. But I work for a rental car company, and we end up getting a lot of these bits of customer information coming in, mostly emails and names, sometimes phone numbers, that we do customer follow-up on complaints. And I want to utilize case management, but setting them up as contacts to utilize case management becomes a challenge because a person can be in multiple locations, meaning they can rent from us in LA or San Diego or Phoenix, and that becomes a challenge in itself. If I open a case for, let's say, Phoenix, and then they show up in LAX, and then we have to create a duplicate record for them. So I'm considering person accounts, and there's some very varied opinions on a person account.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll say this, and I'll let others chime in. I know my experience with it in the past, hasn't been the best, but necessarily hasn't been the worst. I'll say that it hasn't got a lot of love for a long time. I think Salesforce definitely knows that. It's been brought up at the True to the Core session at Dreamforce, I think several years in a row. And I think they've talked several times about them having it on the roadmap to enhance it. I don't remember timelines or things like that, but I know that they're definitely going to focus on it. So that's promising at least. So but I don't know if the other MVPs have any thoughts there.
I don't use them on my org. I have heard. I have heard a lot of really bad things about them. However, I have also heard people say that for a very specific niche, they are the best solution available. So I think a lot of the negative stuff comes from people who maybe didn't fully understand what person accounts were, and so they leaped before they looked. And I'm not sure. A person account's an undoable thing.
I'll be there in a little bit. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Jared, can you correct me on that? Are person accounts one of those irrevocable things?
They are. They
I
are
believe.
irrevocable.
Yeah. But I believe they're working on changing that.
Yeah. So I think that's where some of the negativity comes from. The people that have used them and said they're not that bad, I think it's like they fit a very specific need, and if they're applied correctly, and if you really do have that need, they'll work for you. A lot of the negative stuff has come from people that maybe they misunderstood what they were, what they could do. They took the plunge, and now it's like, oh crap, these things don't work the way that I wanted them to. Oh, and what? There's no undo button? This isn't like an Xbox or a PlayStation?
Right.
And now it's like, you're screwed. Congratulations, you made, you're proud on person accounts, whether you like it or not.
This is Jackie. I have 2 points to make in addition to what Steve was saying. I would suggest spinning up a dev org and doing all of your testing in an org that is not associated to your sandbox or your production org. So that way you can test all of those different scenarios. The other suggestion that I would give you is to track down another MVP by the name of Jeff May. He and I had this conversation about person contacts a little over a year ago, and I don't remember all of the specifics, but I do remember that he said it's not the ugly that people make it out to be. Just like Steve was saying. So
Yeah,
Jeff May would be the person I would, see if you can get 10 minutes of his time just to kind of walk you through.
Is it M-A-Y?
Yes.
M-A-Y, yep. He is your man.
Yeah, because I think really what I'm trying to do is define the use case for this personal account and how we use data from our reservation and our rental process because I think that's the best case scenario for me. I just don't want to turn it on and then be really unhappy with it.
Yeah, like I said, it's been brought up several times, and I feel like that there was something said at the last one, Safe Harbor, of course, at the last Dreamforce, that they were going to be rolling out some updates with incoming releases, and one of those mainly being that you can turn it off once it's turned on. So
Here's another
Well-
little tidbit on ideas, and I don't know if this would apply to you, but link a single contact to multiple accounts. It is in pilot/beta.
Yeah, that's supposed to be coming out in the next version. Is going to be the beta, the early beta. Because they were talking, Shauna was talking about that at the last True to the Core session last year, which, yeah, I'll have to look at that too.
I just posted the link in the chat.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There are also some case comments from the product manager on that that thread. So it looks like they're accepting participants in the Summer 15 release to help pilot that or beta test that. So you might want to get in on that.
Here, I will post that. Awesome. Yeah. So there you go. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, it does. Actually helps a lot.
Awesome. All right, who else has a question? Anybody else with a question? Anybody? Is there a way to change the layout? Mark has a question here. Is there a way to change the layout for the Add Product Wizard for an opportunity when you add fields?
Rewind that back.
Go ahead. So it's okay. So it's he wants to change the layout for the Add Product Wizard for an opportunity. Instead of having 2 rows, it's 1 long row.
So, like the page that you're on when you check the check boxes to add the products.
Yeah, I believe. No, he says the next page.
The next page?
Oh, yeah.
I think you can change that. It's called the multi-line layout.
Yes.
So the one after you check the check boxes and click the select button, the page that you are brought to where you're putting in your quantity, your sales price, and any your product date if you use that field, your line description if you use that field, and any custom fields you have. I mean, you're stuck with the rows and columns part. That if you want to change that, you're off the Visual Force land. Have a nice trip. But you can remove all but the core fields from that page and add custom fields to it. It's I believe it's on the opportunity product layout. It's called the multi-line layout or something like that.
Yeah, I was just looking at my dev org. Yeah, it's when you edit the. Let's see. Oh yeah, so you edit the opportunity product layout, and then you go up at the top of those little links across the top of that, right? And it says edit
multi-line layout.
Yeah, so you can. Yeah, you're right. You can add fields there, but yeah, as Steve was saying, I mean, there's nothing you can really do as far as like the more columns you add, the wider the page is going to get. So there's not much you can do there without going to Visualforce. Which at that point, you might as well go to michaelforce.org and check out his snazzy product package that has that mostly built out for you. So here, I'll post that to the chat. Here, let me. Michael Force snazzy product entry screen. So you could use this as a start. He's got all the code there for you, and you can obviously add in the extra columns that you need to that. All right. Who else has a question? Mark has another question. Another question on what reports do you recommend for sales processes? Jackie, Steve? To go, this is for VP of sales. Okay. So for like a VP of sales, executive report type deal for sales reports. Jackie, Steve, any?
Yeah, my first recommendation is find out what story they want to know. What are they already used to getting?
Yeah.
And then make sure you're capturing that data. And I would start with replicating what they're already used to getting. And then as you start to work with them, then you can make some additional recommendations. It depends on what you're trying to measure, what data you're capturing that is actionable data, because we have to decide, are they nice to knows, or can we make business decisions based on that data? So I always make the recommendation, let's not capture data just because we can. Let's capture data that we can do something about, or improve products, or throw more money into certain marketing programs because we know we're generating something from it. So it's always about what's actionable for me.
Yeah. Those great points, and I'd say starting off, I mean, if he doesn't, take a two-pronged approach. If they have a vision of what they want to see in a report, that's great. I mean, I always tell people when they have a reporting question on the Answers community, create a mock-up of what you want in Excel and post a screenshot of what your vision for this report is. The flip side would be if you don't have that, if you don't have a picture in your mind of what you want, I would say to start off with, less is more. Don't create a report that's got 50 fields in it and show that to them right off the bat. Start with the core fields. What is somebody real at that level? What do they want to know? How much are the deals worth? What's the status of the deal? Are they won? Are they lost? Or are they still open? When is that money due to come in, or did that money come in? So things like amount, stage, close date, who owns it, and what account is it with. Start from there, and then talk to them about, okay, here's our starting point. Now, what else would you like to see? Would you like to see the lead source that the opportunity came in from, or maybe the primary campaign source that led to this opportunity? Don't start with a report that's got every single field, bell, and whistle on it. So that like when you dump this thing into Excel, you're looking at like 50 columns. If you create a report and you export it to Excel and you're seeing the columns that begin with like 2 letters, you made a big mistake. Another thing that it's funny. I show this to my users even to this day, and it's funny to see like the wow. This is an old feature. You create a summary or even especially a matrix report, and you collapse it down and hide the details so that you're just looking at that 50,000 foot, that satellite view. Because again, your audience here is a VP. He could ballpark. How many people? How many sales people roll up under this person? Like, in theory, what would their average opportunity pipeline report entail? Are we talking about the dozens of opportunities that are owned by dozens of reps? So we could be potentially talking about 50 or even 100 or more rows of records, not even getting into the number of columns per field. Because if you're getting into those numbers, then you really want to look at like, all right, let's collapse this down to like the opportunity owner name, and maybe in columns have it broken out by the stage of the opportunity. So when this thing collapses down, you're looking at like 10 rows for the 10 sales reps and 5 columns, so they have 5 opportunity stages. And if they want to see more detail on a particular sales rep, they can click the checkbox next to that sales rep's name and then click the drill down button. The other 9 reps pipeline will disappear from the screen, and they'll only see the detail on that one rep. And when they're done looking at it, they just uncheck the box and go back to the report, and everything is summarized. The show hide feature and the drill down feature, I think, they're like these hidden little gems that people just don't utilize enough.
Mm-hmm. Preach. Absolutely.
Another thing, I've presented this at Dreamforce. If you have a complex sales process, you got like 8, 9 or more stages, or you've got multiple business units with multiple sales processes, and maybe they've got their own stages. I created a very simple formula field that evaluates the 2 hidden checkbox fields that every stage triggers. You can't see them when you're looking at an opportunity record, but they're there and you can use them to do some cool stuff. Every opportunity stage trips 2 checkbox fields. Is closed, either true or false, or is won, true or false. Every stage is either closed or it's not closed. Every stage is either won or it's not won. So I created a very simple formula text field that evaluates those 2 checkbox fields, and it returns either the word won or the word open or the word lost. Because I had 5 business units with their own sales processes and their own set of sales stages. But when I tried to build a consolidated report for that for my CFO or my CIO, I now had 20, 30, 40 stages cluttering up this, my data was broken up into 20, 30 buckets. And they don't care about that. All they care about is what's won, what's lost, what's open, what's still on the table. And so I consolidated all my stages down to 3 simple values: won, open, lost. And if they want to see the stages, they want to see the probabilities, they just click the drill down button and show details, and there they go.
Hey, Steve, can you post a link to that YouTube presentation?
Yeah. I did it at Dreamforce, so that let me hunt around for it. I know that it was one of the ones that was recorded. And I don't think I dropped too many F-bombs, so I don't think they had to bleep it out.
It's not just full of bleeps, right?
I am the current Dreamforce record holder for F-bombs dropped by a speaker. The previous record was 0.
Oh, Steve Mo.
And if I can't find the presentation, I have it in a deck I can post. And again, it's a very simple formula. It's just a 3-line nested if.
Cool. And will you be posting that in the office hours, MVP office hours
Yep,
group?
I'm looking it up right now.
Cool. Thank you.
The MVP guys are talking. They have office hours. So but I came into it late. So anyway, what do you have for me?
All right. Sorry, somebody.
No, because I really don't have anything to pass by him yet. Because he's just, it's like, this is fine what you've given me, but he needs more, he wants to know what the cost is, and you haven't provided me yet.
Sorry, whoever's
So
talking, you're definitely not on mute
and,
here.
But I will,
obviously
next
can't.
week I'll go talk to him and,
And muted. That's fun. All right, we have like 13 minutes left, or 12 minutes left now. Anybody else have any questions?
Okay, I think I found the video. Yep, I got it.
Thank you, sir. Wait for you to.
And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to post a link to David Liu's SF99, Salesforce Coding Lessons for the 99%. There is an entire kind of a formula approach to becoming certified. So if those on the line are not certified and they're interested, there's all kinds of stuff that was published about flashcards and the different certifications. So I think you'll find this helpful.
Look at that. Let's copy that. Paste this into the chat for everybody. There you go. Sorry, Steve. Were you posting that?
Yeah, there's something funky going on with YouTube right now. It's having a hard time getting the actual link. I got it.
There it is. All right. Post this
I
out
think-
for everybody.
I think so the formula where I do the nested if with the stages, that one comes on around the 34-minute, 30-second mark. And spoiler alert, I get my hand cut off and I find out that Darth Vader's my father.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Any other questions?
But we blew up the Death Star. Oh, was I supposed to give that away?
No, you were not, but that's okay. All right, if there's not any other questions, we'll end 8 minutes early then. Thank you, MVPs, for your time on the line. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And as always, if you have any feedback, suggestions for improvement, would love to hear them. Feel free to message me on the Success Community or post to the MVP Office Hours group, and that would be awesome. All right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jared. Bye, Steve.